Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Tonight, we're going to do an album ranking, this time with the band Dokken, one of the truly underappreciated bands of the 80s, at least in my opinion. Dokken is a band that I began to get into when I was a teenager. 14, 15 years old, I got the Greatest Hits album. A little bit later, I picked up Under Lock and Key. And unfortunately, Dokken was kind of one of the bands that I sort of lost touch with because I started getting into more 90s alternative kind of bands. So once my like hair metal phase there for a couple years sort of faded out, I just sort of lost touch with Dokken for a little bit. Over the years, I've gone back to the songs that I knew I liked, and I've heard them on the radio and whatnot. But I was inspired about a year ago to kind of explore the rest of their catalog, and I'm glad I did because beyond what I already knew, there's just been so much great material to uncover. So now that I've had a chance to listen to all 12 studio albums, let them all sink in, I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. So again, this is just my opinion. I'm sure it will differ from everybody else, but here we go. Coming in the bottom of the pack, I think this is pretty much a unanimous choice here. Pretty much every album ranking that I see for Dokken has Shadow Life at the bottom, and no exception for me. I picked this one up because the record store had it, so and I was trying to collect all the Dokken albums, so I come across this one, decided to pick it up, thought there's at least got to be something on here that is worth it, and there really isn't. I don't really like anything on here, to be honest with you. Even Puppets on a String, nothing on here is terribly redeeming. So I guess I heard rumors or whatever about George Lynch trying to sabotage the band with this album. I know Dokken himself doesn't like it, and it's pretty terrible. Pretty much unlistenable. Shadow Life, bottom of the pack, easily. Coming in at number 11, I'm going to go with 2012's Broken Bones. Album starts off amazingly with the song Empire, which is by far my favorite on the album. The rest of the album is not bad. It's far better than Shadow Life, but the rest of the album doesn't really stick out to me as much. So I think Empire really carries Broken Bones. That's why I have Broken Bones all the way down in the number 11 spot. Coming in at number 10, I'm going to go with the brand new album, Heaven Comes Down, released just last year. Maybe I don't like anything on the album quite as much as Empire, but I do like Fugitive, I do like Gypsy, and there were some songs toward the end of the album that I really dug as well. Right off the top of my head, I don't remember the track listing. I should have written it down, but I know the last song, Santa Fe, was different, but really, really good. That was one of my favorites on the album. But I do remember that the last three or four songs I really liked as well. So Heaven Comes Down is going to come in at the number 10 spot. Coming in at number 9, I think I probably have this one lower than a lot of people would. This seems to be higher on most people's list. And I do like this album, don't get me wrong. But Lightning Strikes Again has to come in here for me. It's a solid album. I don't think there's anything bad on here at all. Point of No Return is definitely my favorite on the album, though. But I do like Standing Out on the Outside. I like Heart to Stone. I like Oasis. I like Judgment Day. So, and there's one of the last couple songs, too. I forget. I forget which one it is. It might be the last one, This Fire. There's a one toward the end that I really, really like as well, and I forget which one it was. But solid album. I do like it quite a bit, but Point of No Return to me does kind of steal the show a little bit. Coming in at number 8, I'm going to go with Hell to Pay from 2004. This was actually the brand new Dokken album when I was just getting into them back when I was a teenager. I never did own it, but I did listen to a little bit of it when I was younger. I heard the single Don't Bring Me Down, which I thought was really, really cool. This album is one that I think starts off really strong. The first track is okay. I think it's a little bit overshadowed by Don't Bring Me Down, which is an incredible song. You've got Haunted, which is a really heavy track that I love. Prozac Nation's great. Better Off Before. So it's got some really strong highlights. And then the second half of the album just is not terribly memorable. I put this one above Lightning Strikes Again just because I think the strength of those 4 songs that I really love lifted above Lightning Strikes just a little bit for me. So even though Lightning Strikes is probably the more solid album from start to finish, the strength of those songs I really like on Hell to Pay puts it just a little bit higher, in my opinion, than Lightning Strikes Again. But those two albums to me are really, really close. Coming in at number 7, we're going to go with Breaking the Chains, debut album. There's some good stuff on here. I really like Breaking the Chains, the title track. Felony is cool. Live to Rock, Rot to Live, Knight Rider, Stick to Your Guns. Of course, Paris is Burning is phenomenal. So, solid start for Dokken right here. I think things really only go up after this, at least through throughout the 80s. But a solid debut album nonetheless. Breaking the Chains to me comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, I'm going to go with 2002's Long Way Home, the one album that they did with John Norum from Europe. I love the opening track, Sunless Days. That's one of my favorite Dokken songs, actually. The first half of the album, I think, is quite strong with Little Girl, Everyone Needs to Be With Someone, which is kind of a popular number, but I really dig it. I think it's really catchy. It's really good as well. The second half of the album, I think, does kind of fade out a little bit, but you do have Under the Gun, which is the penultimate track on the album, which is really strong. So it does have that one track at the end to kind of boost the end up a little bit. But Long Way Home, I think, starts off really strong, does kind of fade a little bit at the end, but still has one really strong track down the stretch. Long Way Home for me is going to come in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, and these top 5 to me are like the real upper echelon of Dokken albums. In my opinion, these are the 5 that I definitely love pretty much the most all the way through. And I do like Long Way Home. I do like Breaking the Chains, Hell to Pay, Lightning Strikes Again, but these ones to me are the top tier of Dokken. Number 5, I'm going to go with 1999's Erase the Slate. Killer album with Reb Beach of Winger fame on lead guitar. The title track, Erase the Slate, it's a barn burner of a track. You've got Mattis Hatter, which is really, really cool. Drowning. Gosh, I wish I had written the track list down because I don't have it in front of me. But I like pretty much the whole thing. I think I could maybe do without the Three Dog Night cover. It's not bad. I don't feel the need to have it in the middle of the album, though. Otherwise, I think it's a super strong album all the way through. Crazy Mary Goes Round, which is a really fun song as well. Erase the Slate from 1999. It's going to be my 5th favorite Dokken album. Coming in at number 4. I used to own this one on CD. Right now, all I have is the vinyl. Under Lock and Key from 1985. A lot of strong material in here as well. Unchain the Night is a killer opener. I've always liked The Hunter. In My Dreams is really cool. Lightning Strikes Again. Fantastic song. Probably my favorite on the album. It's Not Love, Don't Lie to Me, Till the 11th End, great closer. Under Lock and Key from 1985 is going to come in the number 4 spot. Coming in at number 3, let's go with Back for the Attack, 1987, the band's 4th album. Killer album right here. For one, probably the best guitar tone. This is probably my favorite George Lynch album, actually. Just the guitar tone on here is just perfect. His playing is incredible across this whole thing. Not that it's not on most other Dokken albums, but the riffs, the solos, the tone, everything. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just perfect. Guitar-wise, probably my favorite from George Lynch. You got Kiss of Death, the opener. Great song, great way to open this album. Prisoner is really cool. Night by Night, Standing in the Shadows. Mr. Scary. The second half of the album, I think, like some of these other Dokken albums, not quite as strong. I don't think it really tails off a lot, but I do think the first half is a little bit stronger. But Sleepless Night, one of my favorite songs down the stretch. And of course, Dream Warriors, the album closer, one of their best known tracks as well. So great stuff from Dokken. Back for the Attack, gonna come in the number 3 spot for me. Coming in at number 2, let's go with 1995's Dysfunctional. This might be a little higher than a lot of people would have it, but I really love this album. You've got Inside Looking Out, which is fantastic. Hole in My Head, I love. The Maze, Too High to Fly, Shadows of Life. But my favorite Dokken song I think ever since, Tooth and Nail used to be my favorite Dokken song, but this one has kind of overtaken it. What Price? I love What Price. What a banger of a speedy, heavy track that is. That just really took me by surprise when I first listened to this album. But strong album. Sweet Change may be the one song on here I'm just kind of not quite sold on, but otherwise I think this album is actually quite strong. I also have this version of it here, the Japanese Dokken self-titled album, which is for all intents and purposes this, but different track list. This one opens up with What Price, which kind of feels a little bit heavier, a little bit more ballsy even than this one does. Shadows of Life, Long Way Home, The Maze, Lesser of Two Evils, Inside Looking Out, Too High to Fly is the closer on this one. But all in all, the only thing that I think I don't care for about this one is it doesn't have Hole in My Head, which is one of my favorites on Dysfunctional. It also doesn't have From the Beginning on this one either. So those are the two songs that it doesn't have. But either way, Dysfunctional / this, my second favorite Dokken album of all time. But I think the ultimate Dokken album has got to be Tooth and Nail, band's second release from 1984. This one is pretty much perfect all the way through. Without Warning is a nice build into Tooth and Nail, which is probably my second favorite Dokken song. Just an absolute burner of a track. Just Got Lucky actually is one of my lesser favorites on here. I still like it though, but it is one of my lesser favorites. Heartless Heart I love. It's probably my second favorite on the album, to be honest with you. Don't Close Your Eyes is great. Another heavy track, When Heaven Comes Down, Into the Fire, Alone Again, Turn on the Action, a great rockin' tune to close things out on here. So pretty much the perfect Dokken album from top to bottom. Superb Dokken right here. My favorite has got to be Tooth and Nail. So in the comments, let me know how you would rank the Dokken catalog. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and I will see you next time.